It's Sherwin-Williams week on the Paint People, which means every episode of Color Quickie is going to be about a Sherwin-Williams paint color, and that includes this color, which is called Cadet. So in this video, we're going to talk about all the need-to-know information about Cadet, but more importantly, I'm going to give you a color palette that includes 2 trim color options and 3 wall color pairings that you can use in your home or on your next design project. If that sounds awesome to you, press that like button for me, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into this episode of Color Quickie. I'm James, the color guy, and Cadet is a paint color that was requested by one of our Patreon members. So thank you so much for the input. What we're gonna do today is I'm gonna break this color down and then give you some ways that I might use this color in my home. To start things off, this is clearly a blue. Not all blues are created equal in the paint world. Some tend to lean towards the purple side of things. Some can go a little more greeny and teal. This one's pretty blue. Like, it just has this cool blue quality to it that feels very true to me. Almost a denim sort of blue in practical use. And it also does feel a little bit desaturated with some gray as well, to just kind of tone it down a slight bit. It comes with a 31 LRV. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. The LRV is something that I like to talk about. It's the light reflectance value, and luckily Sherwin-Williams does advertise it on their website. So Cadet scores a 31 out of 100 on the lightness scale. This means it is a darker mid-tone paint color. I feel like that's a good and maybe a not so good thing depending on your perspective. Darker colors are going to be more saturated, they're going to be more rich, they're going to have more body, they're going to stand out more. So if you want a color that can make a bit of a statement, Cadet will do that. On the other hand, lighter colors, they can blend in a bit better, they can work in more scenarios. So just be sure that you want a color with some body, because Cadet definitely has some body-yaddy-yaddy to it. Wow, why did I do that? I've been watching a little too much RuPaul's Drag Race with the wife. Now, colors like Cadet are really wonderful choices, I find, in the areas that you want to feel a bit soothed and tranquil, because these blue colors tend to do that, at least for me. Think bedrooms, bathrooms, maybe even a living room, or perhaps a family room if you want to just cool down, and you tend to go there at the end of your day when you're winding down. I also find it to be a wonderful cabinet color or a vanity color if you want something a little bit different compared to the more traditional navy blues that are used. This just gives you a different take on blue, which I find is always a fun thing to do. Now, if you were thinking of using it as a wall color, what trim color options would work well with it? Well, my first choice would definitely be Extra White by Sherwin-Williams. This is the premier cool white by Sherwin-Williams. It is very crisp and clean. It has an 86 LRV, which is a lot brighter than Cadet, giving you a nice bit of contrast to allow your trim and doors to pop. And it also just feels crisp. There's no warm creaminess, beiginess, yellow kind of peeking through. It's gonna fit right alongside Cadet beautifully. It's also not so cool, so blue, that it's gonna clash with any of the other colors we're gonna talk about. But if you did want an alternative to white trim, maybe something a lot darker, maybe give Manor House a try. This is a brown color, although I would even call it a borderline taupe, because the brown is very much shaded with some dark gray to give it a smoky sort of feel, which I find really awesome. It has an 11 LRV, so very dark even compared to Cadet. And I just find blue and brown to be a great combination of colors, kind of a classic nautical theme, a nice pirate ship on water. That's kind of how the two sort of coexist. All right, so let's get into the wall color pairings next. The first one is Misty, which is kind of a lighter mid-tone, cool bluey gray color, very much a lighter alternative to Cadet. Similar undertones, very similar vibe, but this one's a lot lighter. It's a lot airier. So in the areas that you want to feel a little more free and passive, where you want the color to kind of fade into the background a bit more, but still being part of this whole cooler color palette, that's where Misty comes into play. Wonderful color choice, perfect pairing for Cadet. Also, if you want to maybe do an accent wall in the same color family, so you have Misty on 3 walls and Cadet behind the headboard of your bedroom, or maybe the TV sort of console. Great option there. Another choice for a lighter color that isn't in the blue family is Nacre, which is a wonderful color. I believe it means pearl, like mother of pearl. This is kind of one of those pearly colors that looks pretty straightforward, but can kind of shift depending on the lighting in a number of different ways. On its own, it looks a bit like a creamy white, but sometimes a green undertone can creep in a very nice way. It's soft, it's subtle, and it fits this palette beautifully. Just gives you a warmer alternative that isn't bright yellow or orange or beige even. It has a tiny pinky toe in the cool side of things, just to sort of create that connection. Wonderful choice for most parts of your home, assuming you want something that's lighter, brighter, and more warm. Our third color pairing is kind of the wild card choice, the accent color, and I find this one to be pretty accentuating. It's called Pink Shadow. What this color lacks in depth and darkness, it makes up for in its very radically different hue. Because clearly this is a pink, but it's not your average pink. It has, I wouldn't say gray, it almost looks like it has a bit of taupe mixed in. For some reason it feels a little bit organic to me, even though pink is not a color that really shows up in nature very often. But there's nothing that's too bubblegummy about this. It sort of feels softened with its use of red, and it has a 58 LRV, so it has this nice level of lightness and airiness, but very much an accent color. Pick a room that you really want to show off in a nice way. And if you wanted a darker accent color, well, guess what? Cadet kind of already accomplishes that too. So here's the color palette all together. Please let me know what you think of this one. What do you think of that pink shadow? I just love mentioning it whenever I can. We also have a Patreon channel that has exclusive content on there released every single Sunday. And if you become a Prime member with us, you get your own personalized mini color palette from me every quarter. So link down below if you're interested in that. And we got another video right over here for you.